Well, we just had a little preview of the film, and it's amazing how in time like today news, this is so actual act of terror, fear, but then again, a story through characters.
Yeah, it's kind of interesting when you like kind of watch the news these days. You get a lot of these like incredibly horrifying images, you know. And it's like as a filmmaker, it's always like you ask yourself, am I contributing to this or not? And then I'm always like telling myself, you know, well, in my movies, I always like kind of make sure that the good side wins. So in real life, I'm sometimes doubting that like kind of there can be anything good coming out of this. What comes out of it is only like more paranoia about going to places like a normal sports event. And then that it's like kind of some crazy kids makes it double brutal, you know, for me. And I have the feeling, you know, it's just I think, but there's like also a clear division between reality and films, and I hope that like kind of we as filmmakers don't have to stop making these movies because I think there's some sort of catharsis, you know, and people can live something out which they probably then don't do in real life.
And even though this kind of movie relay a lot of, you know, visual effect and spectacular scene, is the characters that you develop.
Well, yeah,
and
it's always about the characters. It's always about the hero's journey. It's always, you know, about that, and that's also like kind of what interested me in this film. It is not only the story of one man. It's like then of a friendship, the most unlikely pairing of a president and a normal soldier, and how they kind of have to work together and learn to know each other and trust each other.
And then you have to build and blow up that White
Because
House.
they don't let us shoot there. I don't know, they denied our, you know, request.
So no way.
So okay, we had to build it.
Yeah, that's a massive project.
Yeah, that was a massive job. And we had to do it in record time too, because we had to start with Channing much earlier than we thought, because he was like already committed to a film after that.
And speaking about your characters and your actors, each of them come from a different background as all actors, but they match so well. I mean, that's the heart of casting.
Yeah, but it's also like kind of, I mean, it's pure luck. You know, you get only lucky once in a while, and here I got extremely lucky. I mean, I had a feeling for that they fit well together, but who do you know? You never know. But they hit it off so great. I mean, and the interesting thing, they met each other here in Cancun, because Channing, I think, was promoting 21st Jump Street, and Jamie, like his slave movie, Tarantino movie, and they just hit it off there. And so when they learned that like they're together in a movie, they were super ecstatic. They were like kind of looking forward to it, and they had like so much fun on the set.
Of course, you were mentioning the big challenge when you do a film, like, for example, when we were talking about 2012, when you have to tell a story of something that people fear might become true. Like, in this case, you really have to ask a lot of questions to yourself of how to portray it. But beside that, what are the challenges in a film like that to make the audience relate to that and at the same time just know that it is a film?
Yeah, but like I think I have always like kind of my own, you know, way to do that. I try to insert as much humor as I can, because if you can laugh with your characters, you like them more. And you know what I mean? Even if they're bad guys, you want to kind of laugh with them, because it takes a little bit the seriousness out of the movie. The movie doesn't take itself too serious, and you can enjoy it more. And it doesn't take away from, you know, too much from the seriousness. It's a fine line you have to walk, and both of these actors were like great at it.
Thank you.